And welcome back to this week's market recap, where we go over this week's market while keeping it as simple as possible. Now, first things first, we have to go over this epic week of market action and what earnings actually led to this huge sell-off that ended the week. And then after that, we're going to talk about what's to come this week and what earnings that drops on Wednesday that could have major reaction in this market. And finally, to close, we're going to highlight one of the greatest investors in our generation. This past week, we had major moves in the market, and I was letting you guys know in the last weekly market that we need to learn what is the consumer's buying power, and that we found out on Wednesday. Now, if we look at the S&P 500 of last week, starting the week off, we were up and we were grinding up all the way to Wednesday, and it looks like we were about to pass all-time highs. And then Wednesday after the close, Walmart reported earnings. And to go deep into those earnings, you can actually check out my last video, but the main thing was the guidance, what Walmart forecast to do the rest of the year. And that showed that the consumer is weakening. Walmart is one of the budget shopping options, and when you see the consumer losing buying power for one of the budget shopping options, it just shows the pockets of the average Americans is slowly dwindling down, and that's not a good sign on the stock market. So when the stock market opened the next day, we seen a huge drop off in the stock market. And even though Walmart beat on earnings per share and revenue, when the stock market opened that Thursday, if you look at this chart above, you'll see that Walmart had a huge drop. And to end the week, Walmart was almost down 9%. And now going back to the S&P 500, you'll see that the S&P 500 followed, and it went down, and it went down fast, ending the week at about that 6,000 level. And Friday was one of the biggest down days of the stock market in 2025. So after a failed breakout and that nasty close on Friday, let's talk about what we're expecting this week. And the main thing that all markets is looking for is the last big earnings of earnings season, and that is Nvidia. Nvidia has been one of the hottest stocks in the last year, and Nvidia is the biggest AI chip makers in all the United States. If you look at this chart, you'll see that Nvidia did close lower to end the week, just like all the rest of the stock market. All investors will be looking after the close on Wednesday to see, can Nvidia save the market? And then on Friday, we get the PCE data. And again, PCE data is the most favorite gauge of inflation for the Fed, and that's so important for this next rate cut meeting that's coming up in March. So Friday is going to be a huge day in the market that we need to see exactly what those inflation numbers are saying. Now, with the market not looking so hot, that's showing that the consumer buying power is not strong, inflation is going up. Times like these is we have to zone in on A-plus investors in the market. Looking at A-plus investors, we have to look at one of the best. And this guy is 94 years old. And I'm talking about the one and only Warren Buffett. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, actually reported earnings this last week. And during their earning call, we had some very important data to see exactly how Warren Buffett is positioning himself during these market conditions. Right now, Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on over $330 billion of cash. And that's so interesting because Warren Buffett built his fortune on compound interest of buying assets. So why does he have so much money on the sideline? Who honestly knows? But my guess is Warren Buffett is sitting on $1/3 trillion of cash because it might be a great buying opportunity that's going to come in the next couple months for him to load up on some assets. Again, this is the weekly market recap. I know we're going to have a lot of action this coming week. I'll see you next weekend. Peace.